When it comes to 4-year-old Paris Morris, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Morris, you are not the father. Well, you were correct there. You are not Paris's biological father. Ms. Thorpe, you don't look surprised. The next result is for London. In the case of Morris versus Thorpe, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Morris, you are not the father.
Paternity fraud is now illegal and women are furious. So you have a lot of women who've been committing paternity fraud, and now the roosters are coming home to crow. As you guys can see, things are changing around us. Yeah, it's not a game out here anymore.
Tennessee has made it illegal to lie and put a baby on somebody. Let's talk about it. This new law passed in September of this year makes it a crime to commit paternity fraud. Under the language of the law, you cannot lie about who the father of your child is if you knew or should have known that they weren't the father, and it was with the intent to deprive the actual father of his rights or so that you could get money. Now, there's been a lot of celebration about this law and outcry that this should be spread nationwide, but I don't think that the impact of this law is going to be as widespread as some may hope. Intent can be extremely difficult to prove, and here there are 2 layers of intent that would have to be proven. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't women who foolishly will say things like, I'm going to tell this person that they're the father so I can get child support. But I think that happens so few and far between that this impact is not going to be tremendous. I plan to follow these cases as they come about.
See, a lot of these women are in straight up denial. The evil that's been done to men for a long period of time is just significant. And now they're out here trying to like comfort themselves and tell each other that, no, sis, it's okay. Don't worry. They still have to prove that you actually made it up. They still have to prove that you actually intended to do it. Guys, let me tell you what's going to end up happening. So right now, the basic charge is a misdemeanor, which can put them in jail for a couple of years. However, it gets worse than that, because when you have cases where women put the child on the birth certificate, like we saw in the clip and during the opening, they clearly knew that the child was not that man's child because they were cheating. They clearly knew it wasn't his child. So when you have these kinds of cases where you have a man that is with a woman, they've been married, they're in a relationship, for example, all right? Or let's say they're not in a relationship, but they've been together a couple of times, and they deliberately put the name of that man on the birth certificate when they know that it was not that man's child. What will end up happening is that they're going to say, okay, there's been a pattern of this behavior. Okay, so we need to send a message. You will see, guys, this law is there now. And what they're going to do is, because it may be harder to prosecute, what they will do is when they find a woman who does this, and she's done it multiple times, and they have evidence to prove it, and they may even have text messages. You'll be amazed how foolish criminals are. And they may have text message to proving that, where she literally tells her friends, okay, because friends will rat you out, where she literally tells her best friend that, yeah, I know that it's not his, but I needed the child support. When you have that, they're going to send a message. They're going to send a message, and you're going to end up with one of these women being charged with a felony, and they're going to end up in jail for a couple of years. And let me explain this to you. It doesn't matter if it's a couple of years or even a couple of months. Women are so used to getting away with this scam and this scheme that it will rock them to their very core to know that they could go to jail for doing this now. There have been so many horrible things done to men in Western society, and no one has stepped in to stop it because the government is using the system to exploit men for their wealth and resources. You have to understand, society does not like men. Society despises men. Men are just a means to an end for money. If you look at the history of indentured servitude, if you look at the history of forced labor, men have made up the vast majority of these people put into forced servitude throughout the history of the world. Men. Guys, you need to wake up and realize that the reason why we're living in this system right now is because of the simps. And the simps won't stop, can't stop, won't stop.
Don't swipe now. Come back here. Hey, ladies, did you know that paternity fraud is now a crime? Yeah, let's talk about House Bill 2689, because they locking y'all up.
I'm going to make my money one way or another. Even if that means locking you up, I'll make my money off of you being locked up. Please peep the game.
Oh, yeah. And this hookup culture? Oh, yeah, that's a wrap, because they're making it so you can no longer get child support off of one-night stands. If that man wasn't in your life, let me tell you.
Not only are they making it mandatory for the man to get a DNA test before he signs a birth certificate, but now they're like, look, you're not going to be able to get any money off of this man if he was not actively, long-term, a part of your everyday life.
Oh, yeah, it's true, too. And if I could add on to this bill, you know what? If all these fathers are paying these high amounts in child support, why not give the child to the father? Yeah, that's coming, too. I mean, what you think?
I'm going to be honest enough to admit that a man would probably be more capable of raising a child on his own than a woman.
We know statistically that men raise better children than women. Children who are raised by single fathers, they have significantly higher rates of graduating from university, significantly lower rates of being incarcerated. Even their life expectancy is significantly higher. Think about this carefully, guys. The life expectancy of children raised by single fathers is significantly higher than the life expectancy of children raised by single mothers. The chances of a child being incarcerated after they are raised, a person being incarcerated after they are raised by a single mother versus a single father, the difference is about 80%. Because 80% of all the people, check this out, 80% of all those people in prison for violent crimes come from single mother households. And when you have a father in your life, that statistic is completely eliminated. Your chances of going to prison when you were raised by a single father versus a single mother goes down by 80%. 80%. All of those people in prison, 80% of those people in prison for violent crimes were raised by single mothers. Just let that sink in for a moment. They found that children have a better outcome. Well, let me correct myself. Children do a little bit better when they're, when they're raised by a mother up to the age of 7. After the age of 7, children do better when they're raised by a father. 7. Think about that carefully. And that likely only has to do with the fact that fathers are going to be out there working, so they're going to have to balance both roles. And that might have to do a little bit with the nurturing, because a man cannot be a mother, just like a woman cannot be a father. Although, come Father's Day, all of these women are like literally screaming and hollering because they want their Father's Day cards and they want gifts and gold and bars of gold and all this other nonsense. Because guys, these women, they genuinely do not like men. They genuinely do not like men. They believe that men don't belong in society. But guys, let me make this very clear. They're getting warned. These women are being warned right now. They're being told that, listen, if you lie, you can be prosecuted. I mean, look at this attorney. She's warning them that, like, ladies, you're going to go to jail if you lie.
New era. Ladies are legally free to be with whomever they feel free to be with. And for some women, an honest mistake could be made. Just make sure you're sincere and you've done your homework. And if you're making a legal claim to force a resistant man to claim your child as his dependent, make sure you can back it up with the facts.
This is an attorney. Just so you guys know, that's an attorney. And she's warning these women, be very careful, ladies. Be very careful. This is a whole different era right now. And a lot of y'all, I understand why you feel this way, why some of you say nothing will ever happen. But you'll see, you'll basically start seeing a lot of these women getting thrown in prison. All right. I mean, here it is. False paternity claims, not just wrong, but illegal. Discover the legal repercussions of intentionally misleading the court. And this is from Brighter Law. This is from an attorney's office, okay? And they are warning these women, don't do it. Be careful, be smart, okay? Because you're going to end up in prison. You're going to end up in prison if you do this. And guys, nothing lasts forever. You just wait for it. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications. Never miss another video ever again. Paternity fraud is now illegal and women are fierce about it. What do you guys think about this? I want to hear your thoughts about this in the comments, so let's talk about them there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.